Wednesday of the third week of Lent, March 11, 2026. My dear brothers and sisters, in today's gospel, Jesus makes a statement that is very important for us to understand. He says, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish but to fulfill." Jesus said this because there was already a misunderstanding about him. Some of the religious leaders of his time described the Pharisees, the elders, and the chief priests, who were suspicious of him. His teachings sounded new to them and sometimes even threatening. They wondered if he was trying to overturn the traditions and laws they had long held onto for generations. And we know how people often react to change. When something new comes along, it can make people uncomfortable. So some questioned Jesus' authority and even doubted his intention. But those who truly listened to him noticed something different. They said, "He teaches with authority." His words carried power because they came from truth and because he lived what he taught. So Jesus was not rejecting the law of God. In fact, he was doing the opposite. He was bringing the law to its fullness. He was reminding people of the true spirit and purpose of God's commandments. In the first reading, Moses encourages the people of Israel to observe God's laws carefully and to pass them on to their children and future generations. He tells them that when they live according to God's commandments, other nations will recognize their wisdom and see that they are truly God's people. But there is always a temptation that people fall into even in our own time, and sometimes we pick and choose which commandments we want to follow. We keep the ones that are convenient and ignore the ones that challenge us. Jesus struggled with this attitude during his ministry. That is why he often challenged the scribes and the Pharisees. They knew the law very well, but sometimes their lives did not reflect the spirit of the law. For Jesus, the law is not just something to be studied or discussed. It must be lived. And the best way to understand God's commandments is to look at the life of Jesus himself. Jesus is the living example of what the law looks like when it is fully lived. In him we see love, compassion, mercy, sacrifice, and faithfulness to God. He shows us what it means to love God and to love our neighbor. That is why our readings today reminds us that faith is not something we keep to ourselves. It is something we pass on through our words, but especially through our actions. During this Lenten season, it is good for us to ask ourselves a simple but important question. What am I passing on to others? When people encounter us, our family members, our friends, our co-workers, what do they experience? Do they encounter kindness, patience, generosity, and mercy? Or do they encounter anger, resentment, indifference, or negativity? Our lives speak louder than our words. Lent invites us to look honestly at ourselves and ask, am I becoming more like Christ? And if we truly follow Jesus and live his teachings, our lives will naturally reflect God's wisdom and love to the world around us. So today, let us ask the Lord for the grace to be faithful, not only in knowing his commandments, but in living them every day. And may our lives become a witness that helps others see the goodness and the love of God. Have a beautiful day.